we are in the whole COVID thing right now, and
Still, yes.
and sometimes we have a little bit of free time. Sometimes, and so my question was, what kind of hobbies have you been doing, and especially because we're in COVID and you're limited to, you can't go out and shoot guns as often as you used to. Well, maybe you can.
Yeah. Well,
But with COVID changing the way that we operate, do you have new hobbies that you do now that we're in COVID?
only thing I've really done recently, just because there's more sit on my butt time in the house, not going out to movies and stuff, is painting. I kind of started doing some acrylic painting, which I'm not good at. I just
I'm gonna have to see some of your stuff because I haven't seen any of your acrylic stuff.
it's
It's nothing to be proud of. Is that what you're saying?
well, I'll tell you, if you use our facilities, if you see anything on the wall, that might be me.
Oh, is that right? That's a good canvas in there, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's always funny because your artistic ability is way beyond so many other people, and you're always so hard on yourself about it. Oh, this is
That's because
it's work
there's
in
so many
progress.
people that's way beyond me.
Well,
too.
sure, yeah. Once you start doing it and realize that there are a lot of really good people, then you start thinking you're not that great. But to most lay people, you're pretty good.
Well, I enjoy it. It's a good out for me.
Some of the things that I've been doing. Well, I used to brew beer a lot.
Yeah.
Right. Moved into a new house and don't really have the space to do the brewing stuff. I've got space to store it, but I don't really have a place to set it up. And brewing beer requires you to have, somewhat of a setup because it takes so long to set up to brew any beer. It can be a full 8-hour day plus, setup and takedown.
Well, wait a minute now.
Uh-huh.
Your house is twice as big now
Yeah.
as your last one, and you did it at your last one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the difference is I had what I called a man space at the last house. And now the man space is split
You got
into
no man space.
it's not really specifically a man space where I can kind of do whatever manly stuff I want to do. Now each of those spaces, like the role of an office is now it's a small bedroom that I've converted into the office, right? So that's different. What I used to use as my beer fridge and whatever is now specifically a different part of the house. And then my workout space now specifically a different part of the house. So it's like what I had in one space that I could brew beer and set up for has been split into multiple places, and now I don't have one space for it.
I'm sure most of our listeners would agree. Give up your workout space and set up a beer space.
You know what? I totally could do that. And then I could plumb it up to the bar. Wouldn't that be something? All right, well, you're talking me into it.
That's actually a fantastic idea.
Yeah, I can get some
Really?
bright tanks in there.
That's a great idea.
Refrigerate them, carbonate them, send it right up to the bar. You are a smart man, Dave.
Well, what you do, get you're looking good, but keep working out. Get above the peak you need to be, and then just write it out.
Maybe I'll just convert all that stuff and I'll just go running. That'll be my workout. I'll just go run.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't require any space in the house.
Or you. Everybody's happy.
Right. Well, so I do miss brewing beer because that was, there's enough downtime in brewing beer where you can sit there and you can watch a movie between, processes, right? And then of course, brewing beer doesn't take very long once you've brewed beer to then consume the beer. And you can't brew beer unless you're drinking one of your brews. Now, that might be a chicken or the egg sort of scenario, but someone else has got beer that they can loan you while you brew your own.
Well, you have lunches at home now.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like a sandwich in a can, right? It's perfect. But I don't get to do that very much anymore. No. So I did start rolling cigars, as you know. So I've really enjoyed rolling cigars now. Anytime you dive into a new hobby, you kind of dive in, right? You learn more about it. I'm sure you did that with painting and figuring out, especially like your airbrush stuff, where it's like there's tools and technologies that you have to have in order to then do it.
I was hoping I could just dive in. Nope.
No, it's a bit more complicated.
I could have some fun, but I can't do what I want to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, for me, rolling cigars it slows you down. It requires you to do a little bit more paying attention to what's going on in front of you. Gets you away from thinking about all the other
Hey,
stuff.
I'm impressed. Not even just how they taste, but they look good. I mean, I'm not even, I don't know that much about cigars, but how they look
pretty
professional
good.
to me, and they
Yeah,
smoke really well.
just like you said about painting, there's so many more better painters, right? And that's the way I feel about cigar rolling, because I try and save the best ones to give to people who can appreciate cigars. But I have a lot of factory rejects.
Yeah.
But you know what? I enjoy smoking the the factory rejects. It's just fine.
I've got a couple